iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. It's going to be a slightly abridged podcast today. I apologize for that, but little Dr. Roto Jr. wasn't feeling well, so it's been a very crazy day here at the Roto house. But let's get to what we saw. Let's get to what we saw yesterday, and I want to start with last night's game. And I'm just going to say this. Had Bennie Fowler just gone to the ground, Denver wins this game. Instead of going to the house, if he just goes to the ground, they win. Because they had no timeouts left, Kansas City. So once they scored and they went up 8, they gave them time to score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Why do you need to do that? You get the first down, you sit on the ball, it's over. Game over. I don't know why we're not teaching our guys better. I don't know why we're not teaching these guys to play, to understand what's going on. Be cerebral. Know what you need to do. Get down there to the other team's. What I would have done is I'd go Benny, I'd go to the 20-yard line, plop, boom. Stop right there. Tackle me. That way I get 3 plays. I kick the field goal. I'm winning this game. So, bad loss. Great play for Emmanuel Sanders. 162 yards and a touchdown. Trevor Siemian, I'm not going to call him great. I'll just say he had a very good day. 368 yards and 3 touchdowns. Please, he's not that good. Devontae Booker, good night. Not a great one. Travis Kelce played like a man, 8 for 101. Tyreek Hill, 9 for 52 and a touchdown. Also had a rushing touchdown. Also had a return for a touchdown. I mean, he was everywhere. He killed me. One team of mine put up 175 points in fantasy. I lost to a guy who put up 185. Unreal. So this was just quite the week. And I want to touch on some things that I saw here. First of all, the Giants. You got to get Sterling Shepard Roto in the game. I love having Odell Beckham Jr. do well, but you need to have Sterling Shepard in the game. If you don't use him properly, you're not going to go deep in the playoffs. I know you're 8-3. I get that. But you need to have Beckham and Shepard rolling. Both, not one. Both. It's a big problem. By the way, how good is Terrell Pryor? 6 for 131. Sadly, a miss was Gary Barnidge, 1 for 11. That was awful. Tennessee and Chicago. Can we just say this? I was very wrong about Jordan Howard. He had a very good game, but I got to give all the credit in the world to Matt Barkley. 316 yards and 3 touchdowns. And they could have won that game. How about Marcus Wilson, 8 for 125 and a touchdown? If he doesn't drop that pass in the end zone, they win. How about Josh Bellamy? If he doesn't drop a pass, they win. I mean, really, Chicago played well. If I'm Tennessee, shame on you. I know you're 6-6, but you need to beat that team. And maybe you stop playing. What was it, 24/7 and you quit? You can't quit in the NFL. You start doing that, it's bad things. And you have had DeMarco Murray. You started DeMarco Murray. He did nothing for you. You're upset. I don't blame you. I don't blame you for being upset. You expect more from DeMarco Murray, especially against the Bears. Jacksonville and Buffalo, how good was LaShawn McCoy? 103 yards and 2 touchdowns. But even more so, wasn't it good to see Sammy Watkins Roto back out there? 3 for 80. And you know what? They've got a great schedule the rest of the way. We love watching Sammy Watkins. I'm worried about Allen Hurns in that game. In terms of he had a hamstring injury. And who knows if he's back next week. If he's not, Marquise Lee, you've got to put him high in your rankings. He's on my early ranking sheet as very high value. All right, Cincinnati and Baltimore. This game went half what I thought it was going to do. I thought Baltimore was going to win this game by way more, by another 10 points. But Joe Flacco has just turned into being mediocre. 234 yards and a touchdown. Where is Steve Smith? I mean, Mike Wallace, 3 receptions, Pitta 3, Smith 4. Oh, come on. Yeah. How deep are you going to go, Baltimore Ravens, if you can't throw the football? Kenneth Dixon, 13 carries. West, 13 carries. They're just not special. The reason they won this game is because Cincinnati gave it to them. Andy Dalton was still in this game at the end. I mean, Tyler Eifert, 5 for 68 and a touchdown. Tyler Boyd, 5 for 62. These guys played well. I mean, the Ravens stopped Jeremy Hill. Andy Dalton did nothing at the end of the game. He thought he was watching volleyball. Really, it was a very poor job by Dalton. I think the Bengals could have actually won that game. I think the Ravens are a little bit overrated. How about Atlanta? Are we underrating Atlanta? 7-4, and they whopped the Cardinals by close to 20 points. Matty Ryan, 269 and 2 touchdowns. Freeman with another big game. How about Taylor Gabriel? How good was this guy? Now, I know Julio Jones Roto did nothing, but we kind of expected that. We expected that because this was a tough matchup with Patrick Peterson. But, Sanu, 8 for 65. Gabriel was great. Even we saw Justin Hardy. Haven't seen Justin Hardy all year. For Arizona, you look at the box scores and it tells you everything in this game. Larry Fitzgerald with 4 targets. When Jermaine Gresham gets 10, and Michael Floyd gets 5, and J.J. Nelson gets 4 targets, and Larry Fitzgerald gets 4, now you know why you lost. You must get the football in the hands of your best receiver. It's simple. This is not rocket science. This is how to play winning football. All right, New Orleans beats the Rams 49-21. Mark Ingram, I didn't know if this guy was even going to play. I didn't even know he was going to pass his concussion test. Not only does he play, 146 yards and a touchdown rushing, 21 yards receiving and a touchdown. Unreal. I benched him in a league. I did. I just didn't think he was going to have a good week. Couldn't have been more wrong. How good was Michael Thomas? 9 for 108 and 2 touchdowns. Where is Brandon Cooks? Now look, you're going to want to cut Brandon Cooks or you're not going to want to play him next week, but you can't do that. You got to hold on to him. They're at home next week and he's going to play well against Detroit. Lock that one in. Okay? People recency bias. They won't want any part of him, but that's not going to be you. You're going to know better. All right, Jared Goff, 214 yards and 3 touchdowns. Todd Gurley, 50 yards rushing, 39 yards receiving. But I just worry whether or not Jeff Fisher's going to have a job in football. I don't know if he deserves one anymore. This Rams team is pretty darn bad. Pretty bad. All right, Miami beats San Francisco 31-24. Colin Kaepernick, though, 296 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and 113 yards rushing. I mean, that is some day. He just has nobody to throw to. Sean Drone, Rod Streeter. I mean, really? Oh, awful. Miami, you're going to look and say, Jay Ajayi, what happened to you? You suck. But no. They had 3 guys out on their offensive line. I don't expect any more from them. Tannehill was 285 yards and 3 touchdowns. He did a good job. Devontae Parker could have had a much better day if it wasn't for, bad calls and, tough calls and, drops and, replays. I mean, he could have had a much, much bigger day. So don't lose hope with Devontae Parker. The guy I'm losing a little bit of hope with is Jarvis Landry. 4 for 47? This guy was a 2nd-round pick in Vegas. Unreal. All right, San Diego and Houston. The Chargers win 21-13. They're 5-6. They're clinging to playoff hopes. Now look, if you ask me right now who's the better team, the Texans are 6-5. The Chargers are 5-6. I'll take the Chargers any day of the week. Phillip Rivers, 3 touchdowns. Melvin Gordon, 70 yards rushing. Inman, Williams, these guys played well. Who's playing well for Houston? Nobody. Brock Osweiler's awful. Lamar Miller hurt his ankle at the end of that game. Be very careful with Lamar Miller. Very careful. I don't know if he plays next week. He goes up to Green Bay with 20-degree weather. He wakes up in that morning. You think that ankle is going to feel like he can run on it? I don't know about that. I don't know. Not sure about that at all. DeAndre Hopkins, 5 for 70. The most confusing game of the week. The most confusing game of the week. The Seattle Seahawks score 5 points against the Buccaneers. Unreal. Unreal. Jameis Winston, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns. Both those touchdowns go to Mike Evans, who had 8 receptions for 104 yards. Doug Martin did a good job. Tampa Bay played great. Russell Wilson was a train wreck. Doug Baldwin, 7 for 34. Jimmy Graham, 6 for 67. Thomas Rawls, 12 carries, 38 yards. I mean, they did nothing. They did nothing offensively. I mean, look, maybe they didn't like the sunshine and the heat in Florida, but to 14-5? I mean, that's a baseball score, guys. It's got to be better than that. All right, Carolina and Oakland. I'm just going to say this. You can look in a box score to me, and I can tell right away whether or not Carolina's going to win. When Greg Olsen goes 4 for 45, they lose. Ted Ginn should not have a better day than Greg Olsen. He shouldn't have twice as many targets as Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen is your best player. Feed him the football. Feed him the football. Cam Newton, 246 yards, 2 touchdowns. Derek Carr injures his pinky. Doesn't matter. 315 yards, 2 touchdowns. Michael Crabtree, 8 for 110, and had a couple of drops earlier in the game. He could have had a much bigger game. Amari Cooper disappears, 4 for 22, but let's not hold that against them. Oakland is still playing at a very high level, and they're a fun team to watch. And finally, Tom Brady and the Patriots are 9-2. 286 yards and 2 touchdowns for Brady, but it wasn't a LeGarrette Blount day. It was a Malcolm Mitchell day. 5 for 42 and 2 touchdowns. You have Edelman, Hogan, Mitchell, Deion Lewis, Bennett, Gronk, Blunt. This is a good team, guys. Who's going to beat this team moving forward? I don't know. For the Jets, Fitzpatrick with a pretty good day. 269 yards, 2 touchdowns. This was a Bilal Powell day, which we said this was going to be, and not a Matt Forte game. Brandon Marshall, 6 for 67 and a touchdown. Quincy Enunwa, 5 for 109 and a touchdown. So they did what was expected. Tonight, Green Bay and Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia can win this game. I think they just need to give the ball to Wendell Smallwood, get him in space, and watch him go. And then find Jordan Matthews and Dorial Green-Beckham and take advantage of that depleted secondary of the Packers. That's what Kirk Cousins did so well. He threw the ball deep and he challenged the Packers secondary. You must challenge the Packers because if you don't, if you play it tight, you're not going to win this game. Cousins gave you the blueprint. Follow through. I don't know whether Doug Peterson's capable of that because that's not the way his offense runs, but that's what's happening. For the Packers, it's about running the football. Can we get Kristen Michael in there? Can we get James Starks in there? I mean, Aaron Rodgers has been throwing 48, 50 times a game, and he's been inaccurate. But if we give him a run game and sets up the play action, and he'll do a little bit better. So I think the Eagles can win this game. I really do. And if the Eagles win this game, I think they're going to be talking about Mike McCarthy getting fired. I really, really think that's the Boo Birds are going to come out. And not just the Eagle Boo Birds, the Packer Boo Birds. All right. Right now, I need you to go to scoutfantasy.com. Enter Cyber4. That's CYBER number 4. Cyber4. You pay 1 month, we'll get you 4 more months for free. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to get you 4 more months for free. Okay? Cyber Monday. Take advantage of it. That takes you through some of baseball. Sean Childs is doing his baseball prep right now. So not only are we going to get you through the football season, we're going to get you through some of baseball. Isn't that worth 1 month? $12 for 4 months? That's $3 a month. It's not even $1 a week. For all the stuff you get at Scout Fantasy, unheard of. Unheard of. So right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Once again, I'm sorry for this abridged podcast, but we'll do better later this week. Once again, just some things we can't control in life, but we can control how we do in fantasy football, and we can control it by checking out scoutfantasy.com. So I thank you so much for being a part of the Scout Army. If you are, and if you're not, check us out, Scout Fantasy Cyber 4. Do it right now. All right, guys, be well and take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!